So by the end of it,
Yeah.
I dreaded to eat because within 5 minutes, I would have horrible stomach cramping.
Hello, I'm here with
Yay!
Teresa. Thank you for joining me today, Teresa.
My pleasure. It's been long awaited.
I know we've talked about this a months ago, and then Christmas, vacation, move, everything's crazy. So thank you so much for. I'm glad we finally worked it out.
My pleasure.
Okay, so my first question, just right out of the bat, is that you were being a vegan for a while, and I wanted to know why you started veganism.
Um, well, I wouldn't go that far. I'd say whole food, plant-based.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
it was a vegan diet, but I didn't think of myself as a vegan.
Okay.
Unless you consider doing it for health reasons, I guess I would be that kind of vegan.
Okay.
But yeah, I had some minor issues. I had lost my gallbladder.
Oh, wow.
I had some fatigue issues, and my monthly cycle was out of control. But really, that was the only thing that was wrong with me. And I thought, well, you know, I didn't touch green vegetables for my whole life, pretty much 43 years at that point. So I thought maybe I do need to eat my vegetables. So we went whole food plant based, and
Like
I
you and your
lasted
husband?
the whole family.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because my kids were almost adults at that point, and they had a choice what they wanted to do. Of course, I didn't say you're going to do it, um, but they decided to do it with us, and I only lasted 14 months,
Oh, okay.
and I ended up worse than when I started.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Because I have a picture of you and you were quite overweight, like very
Yeah.
overweight. And was that from unhealthy eating habits your entire life up until you changed? Okay. And then,
Well, go ahead.
okay, when you changed, did you get more overweight or less overweight or what happened? When did you went
Yes.
to your Whole Foods plant based sort of diet?
I actually gained 40 more pounds.
That's incredible. Is that from potatoes?
No,
Oh, okay.
I did have potatoes. Usually it was like sweet potatoes. I tried to stay away from the white potatoes.
Okay.
Um, but we didn't eat them like every day.
Yeah. So do you know why, if you're eating apparently what's very considered very healthy, how could you possibly have gained 40 more pounds?
Yeah, I wondered that every single day.
Okay.
I did start feeling better within the first 4 weeks. I noticed maybe a little bit more energy, um, but that was short lived. I went back to a normal state of feeling um, very quickly after, so there were no improvements really. And then I just started noticing things get worse and worse.
Okay. And then, so you did this for 14 months, I guess, like, because you were trying to get through whatever so that it got to the better point, the point that you're supposed to feel fantastic or something. Is that why you stuck with
Right.
it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just wanted more energy, and I thought, well, I am eating kind of crappy. It's a standard American diet, and of course, we throw some Pop Tarts in there, and so I've made some questionable decisions in my life, but
Mhm.
who hasn't? So I thought, okay, let's be a grown up and eat our healthy vegetables and clean up our diet,
Yeah.
and yeah, that that didn't go well.
Okay. And what were the things that got worse? Like you said, it got worse.
Well, the fatigue got worse.
Oh, okay.
My cycle got worse. Um, I had already lost the gallbladder, so I wasn't having any issues in that area. But so yeah, I got more tired. My hair started to thin. Um, my skin got kind of pale. and my lips kind of looked bluish.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really bad.
You're like
Um,
you're becoming a zombie.
I really was. Um, I started getting dermatitis everywhere. So my skin was
Ooh,
flaking. It was really dry. I got seborrheic dermatitis. It's when your forehead and eyebrows start to flake and
okay.
peel. So I was like, what is this? And then I got dandruff. So I had flakes all throughout my hair. The seborrheic dermatitis was bad though, because for the dandruff, I could just, shake it out of my hair real quick. But for my forehead, I actually had to shave it. So I would take a straight razor and shave all the flakes off before even going out in public because it was so embarrassing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. My skin started getting, what's the word? Crepey?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Like
understand.
crepey.
Yeah, like you could see through it, like very thin.
Yeah. And it started getting like this texture and it was really odd. And I was kind of freaking out about that. And I thought, well, I am over 40 now. So maybe, my skin's starting to change or whatever. You make a lot of excuses or
Hmm.
try to rationale things because I mean we're told vegetables are so healthy. So
Right.
you're thinking in your brain that can't be the reason.
Hmm.
I'm just getting old.
Right.
Um, I had started getting headaches like every single day. Most of the time it would be a low grade headache, and then some days it would be really bad. And so now I know it was because I had dropped my salt down so low for so long,
Hmm.
and my body was really screaming. I I developed fibromyalgia,
Oh my
and
goodness.
yeah, so I had pain from head to toe, 24/7. I was popping Motrin every 4 hours, 600 to 800 milligrams, depending on how bad it was, and I did that for the whole 14 months.
Oh my
And
goodness.
you're not even supposed to take that past 10 days.
Right. Yeah, that could do
Uh,
some serious damage to, I think, your kidneys, your liver, something.
stomach for
Stomach. Oh,
ibuprofen.
oh wow. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure your liver's affected. I mean, everything goes through the liver.
Sure.
So
Sure.
um, I started
So
getting,
a live stream once and you were talking about like you also had a lot of gut issues, right?
oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
So by the end of it,
yeah.
I dreaded to eat because within 5 minutes, I would have horrible stomach cramping. And it didn't end there too. The pain was all through the digestion process until it left. And because I was eating plants and because I had to eat so often, it was pretty much nonstop.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I hate stomach issues. I think it's like the worst. Um, can you explain, because menstrual cycles are always very interesting to me. Can you explain what your menstrual cycle was? You said it was out of control, and that's one of the reasons you started eating that way, and then it got worse. What was out of control for you? Like, what was so bad about it?
Okay. So the week before I was to get it,
Yeah.
I would have horrible PMS symptoms. So I would retain water, and that would be anywhere from 5 to 7 pounds. So I
Oh my
wouldn't be able to
God.
wear my rings anymore. All my clothes would be tight. And it was uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Then the fatigue. I would have a full night's rest, but I would nap for 2 to 3 hours. Um, yeah, the week before my period. It lasted the whole week.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Then the I didn't really have. I don't think I really had emotional issues. I might have cried a few times, but it really wasn't that bad as far as mental goes.
Okay.
Um, so when it finally started, it was painful, like the cramps were really intense. And again, more Motrin if I wasn't already on
Mhm.
it. And those were usually the times that I bumped it up to 800 milligrams. Um, the flow was beyond heavy.
Oh, wow.
I would go through an ultra tampon in 30 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
goodness.
this lasted 2 days. So I did not leave the house. If my cycle started, I knew I wasn't going anywhere for 2 days because of that reason.
This is crazy. Yeah, I have also experienced crazy menstrual cycles in my life. So I just like to hear from other women so that, like, if other people listen to this, they can hear our stories and be like, oh, wait, that's not normal.
No, it's not
Oh, wait,
normal.
you're not supposed to be tortured.
No.
Okay, so you did all these things got worse, your menstrual cycle got worse. How did you figure out that you should stop eating vegetables and start eating meat?
Well, it popped into my head. It's like that little voice that says, "Eat a burger."
Yeah.
And so I told my family, I was like, "I've had enough of this. We are ordering Denny's," and I ordered the slam burger, and it was delicious. It was so good. Yeah. So I kind of hovered. Well, I'm sorry.
I was just laughing. Of course.
So yeah, we kind of hovered in limbo for about 2 weeks
Okay.
after that, but we all ditched it. And my youngest daughter, was having some issues. She was 22 at the time, and I was like, "No, we got to get off of this thing. Just eat whatever you want." And of course, she chose something with meat as well. And um, shortly after, we found Dr. Berry.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so, what things have? So wait, how long have you been eating basically only meat, or is that how you eat now? Basically only meat, like carnivore, or do you do some vegetables, or what? No. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're carnivore.
Okay.
I will never touch a vegetable again.
There you go.
But yeah,
And so, what do you eat now, like on a daily basis? Like, what do you guys? How does your family eat, or how do you eat specifically?
I eat beef, eggs, and butter.
Oh, how simple.
Sometimes bacon, sometimes seafood, but usually only when I crave it.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. And does your family do the same thing, or what are they doing now? Mostly.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much the same things. My son does really love ham and chicken, so he eats a lot of those.
Okay.
He's not really a seafood eater, so he doesn't touch it. My daughters are mostly beef, bacon, eggs,
Nice.
and my husband is the same.
Okay. That's awesome. I love that you guys did that all together.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your menstrual cycle again for a second. Can you tell me how it's changed now that you've been on carnivore for however long?
Sure. It took about 8 months to fully normalize, and I would now describe it as heavenly. I have zero PMS. So
Wow.
if I'm not looking at the tracker, because I have a tracker that
Sure. On your phone.
monitors all that stuff,
Okay.
I have no idea it's coming. There is
Okay.
no there's no swelling, there is no water retention, there is no fatigue. So yeah, it just shows up. It's
Yeah.
normal. And I can leave the house because the flow is, I would call it not light, but normal.
Normal.
I'm assuming that's what normal is.
Yeah.
So I
Oh my
can
God.
leave the house
Yeah.
for hours
Wow.
and not have to worry about anything.
Sure. That's great. Oh my goodness. It's so crazy. I think so many women suffer from weird things related to our menstrual cycles, and we just, oh, it's normal. Oh, that's just the way it is. Like you were talking about, like we come up with excuses in our minds and in our brains as to why something is to like make it normal, I guess. So I'm so happy you've had some success in this area. Another woman who has succeeded. Yes. What other stuff has happened as a result of going and eating this way, eating your meat only diet?
Well, everything that I was talking about earlier is completely gone. In fact, I didn't even go through the whole list, but all of it's gone.
Wow.
I have nothing wrong with me. I never feel off. I never feel bad. I never feel tired. I never feel sick.
Wow.
There's really nothing wrong with me. And I don't think that I've been able to say that since, I don't know, grade school.
Wow. That's awesome.
Because I've always kind of had issues with my cycle. Obviously, when I started it as a teenager, it wasn't as bad.
Okay.
But I had always been tired, and just the flow was kind of normal. But I've always had the PMS, the bloating and swelling. Yeah, so. But yeah, I feel wonderful.
That's amazing. And you lost quite a bit of weight. How much weight did you lose?
I have lost 127 pounds.
That is incredible. Okay, so when you started your plant-based diet, how much did you weigh? If you know.
About 225-ish.
Oh, okay. And then you gained 40 more pounds. I would have never imagined that you were like obese if I were to just see you walking down the street. Now, like, how would that ever be possible? Because we eat such crappy food in the United States and in other places, not just the US, but we eat so bad and we think we're doing the right thing. Right? Or we know we're not doing the right thing, but we're like addicted to it.
Exactly.
Okay, so thank you for sharing your success. This is awesome. Diet coach, what do you do, and do you want people to reach out to you for help?
Sure. I help people leave the SAD diet or whatever diet that they're on and transition into a keto, ketovore, or a carnivore way of life.
Okay.
And I help them get started. I help them just get the hang of it, what to expect, and the best tips and tricks on how to do a seamless transition, and basically anything that they need to know.
Oh, awesome. That's great. So, okay, here, I will ask you, I wasn't planning to ask you this, but I'll ask you, because I've been eating this way for almost a year, and I lost like 30 pounds, and then it just kaput. And maybe I don't look like huge, and I'm not, but I could definitely lose like another 50 pounds, at least in my mind. I could lose that weight, right?
All right, let's coach you.
Yeah, let's do a real live coaching session right in the middle of this interview where I'm interviewing you. An example we could show somebody.
Yeah, if you were to ask me this question,
because this is a real question.
Yes, this is for real. I get it all the time. Yeah. So the first thing I need to know is, what are you eating and drinking during the day, every day?
Coffee and water or carbonated water, plus or minus stevia, more on the minus of any added sweeteners. Let's see.
So how many grams of protein and fat daily?
I have no idea until I'm not hungry.
Stop that. Okay. Now, I don't track for tracking purposes like calories or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I do use Carb Manager, and I enter in everything to make sure that I'm meeting minimum protein and fat.
Okay.
Per day. So if I don't make those, I can see that. And I was like, okay, I got to eat a little bit more.
Oh, okay. Because I think I eat a lot. I think I eat probably more than I should. I don't know,
Okay, give me a sample menu.
but like 2 pieces of steak, like maybe like this, with as much fat as I can. We get the tomahawk cut, and we get the butcher to take the bones out of it. So that has like rib meat plus like rib eye meat and lots of fat. So
All right, show me your portion size again. I wasn't looking.
maybe like 2 hands plus balls of fat. Maybe like 4 eggs a day.
Okay, that looks like about 7.5 ounces each. So we'll say 15 ounces. Let's see what we got here.
So I am 5'3", if that matters. Maybe 5'4". I'm 5'4", if that matters.
I'm 5'4".
Oh, I'm 5'4" and 180-ish pounds. It goes up and down. I've gotten it down to 177.
So let's enter in 15 ounces of meat. That should be good. All right, so that's 127 grams of protein. No, not. Sorry.
No worries. I hope that people appreciate our live demonstration of why I haven't lost any weight. But I eat this way because I have to. I have to for sleep and all the other similar reasons you went over. But yeah, I would like to lose the weight.
So for fat, okay, so that amount of steak, what is listed as 109 grams of protein. So we're still a little bit under. What else do you got?
Oh, wow. Eggs. I eat eggs.
Eggs, how many?
Let's say 4 a day. But sometimes I won't eat 4 a day if I eat that steak, for instance. Yesterday, I probably ate 20 little quail eggs or 15 little. They're like very little. They're like a pain in the butt to peel because they're so tiny. Not quail. Maybe it's quail. It's something. It's something like a small bird. Cornish hen eggs. They're very small.
Oh, those sound good. Okay, so with the eggs, you're at a decent amount.
Okay, so if I eat 15 ounces of steak and 4 eggs, then I'm eating enough. So possibly I'm just not even eating enough.
No, I don't think you're eating enough. And that's usually always the case.
Wow.
Or another reason could be over-exercising.
Okay, well, I don't do that. I started walking a couple weeks ago, and I was doing anywhere between 10 and 20,000 steps a day, and I didn't feel like it was a lot of exercise, but it was helping me sleep. And then my kids got home they were visiting grandma, and now it's went down the drain, my walking.
Walking doesn't count. You can do all the walking you want.
Oh, okay, good. That's good to know. No, I don't exercise. Maybe I think I should, but I don't.
Right. Okay, so under eating is always the number one cause. Now, even though you have met your protein, because it's at 134.2, and that's around the weight you want to be because you're 5'4". So I'm just using that because I'm 5'4".
So I want to eat my weights in ounces in protein. Is that what you're trying to say? For me to get my goal weight is like, 130 sounds about right. I'm very skinny then. I'm like very skinny, but I still have this big butt complex.
Right. But even though you've met your protein goal, you are under in fat because you want to eat that much fat too.
Oh, wow. I definitely don't eat enough then because I'm just full. I don't feel hungry.
Well, here's the great thing about butter.
Okay. I do love butter.
You always have room for butter.
Okay.
So you're at 82.9 grams of fat. So in order to get up to 134, you're going to need, let's see, let's try 4 tablespoons, which isn't a lot.
No, it's not.
It's not a lot. There, that's perfect. In fact, you're a little bit over.
So 4 eggs, 15 ounces of steak, and 4 tablespoons of butter.
4 to 5 tablespoons of butter. You should be great.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'll try this. I hope this helps somebody else also who's been where I have been for a year-ish because I lost a lot of weight really fast. It was probably water. I think it was water. So my question is, could it be possible that the 30 pounds that I lost, because I started at like 209.8, that number is in my mind forever. Do you think that 30 pounds is water that I lost, or do you think there's any actual fat? Oh, okay.
6 pounds is water,
Oh.
maybe 10, depending on how inflamed you are, but there's no way. There's no way you were holding on to 30 pounds of water.
Okay, good. That's good to know. All right, so here's my next question. I know this was an interview of you, but now I'm just totally interested. So let's say I lost that 30 pounds. It goes between 27 and 30. So let's say I've lost 27 to 30 pounds, and that went really fast. That was like 3 months gone and then it stopped. Was I possibly eating the right macros earlier and then I just switched? Or I mean.
No, I think because you had so much excess,
Yeah.
that it was just immediately pulling from your stores.
Oh, okay.
Your body was just so happy to be nourished that it was starting to heal and let go of some of the excess.
Okay.
So this is what happened to me. I lost the first 100 pounds in 10 months.
Wow.
It just like went in a flash. And
Wow.
I had whiplash. I was like, what just happened? Okay.
Yeah.
But I knew I still had a little bit more to go. And it had crawled to almost a stop for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then I started craving butter.
Okay.
I didn't understand it, but I went with it. I listened to it. And so every time I would go into the kitchen, I would get a spoonful of butter off of the stick. And I like my butter room temperature and covered in Redmond salt.
Okay.
But it tasted like 1,000 times better than it ever had before. So I was really craving it. And every time I went in the kitchen, grabbed a spoonful and just ate it. And before I knew it, another 27 pounds was gone.
Interesting. That's so interesting. Yeah, I took a bite of butter last night. I'm like, this tastes like the most magical thing I've ever eaten. It was so good.
I have a really good feeling that if you upped your butter and use Carb Manager and just track for a little while, and then pretty soon you'll know how much protein and fat, what that looks like, and then you won't need to use it anymore.
Oh, nice. Okay.
If you up that, I guarantee you, within 2 to 4 weeks, you'll be messaging me like, oh my God, I can't believe what's happening.
Yeah, I hope so. I'll try it because we're also going to be moving. And so I will be doing a little exercise, like moving to the new place. And so after that, I'll just be relaxed and take your advice and see what happens. I would love to have it happen.
And don't worry about exercise. Just like of course, if you're moving, that's going to be unintentional exercise, and you can keep walking and stuff. And when I mean over exercising, I'm talking chronic cardio, going to the gym and weightlifting like 6 days a week without very much breaks. That'll stall you because your cortisol will be up real high.
Yeah, that makes sense because it's really stressful for the body.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I wonder what else. I wonder if I can ask you any other questions. So, what are your thoughts on black coffee?
I don't drink it ever.
Oh, okay. Have you ever?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh, okay. But do you think that would be something that would stall someone's weight loss? Black coffee, nothing, no cream, nothing.
I don't know for sure, but it has affected some people.
Okay. All right. Well, eventually I will give it up. Let me see what other. So you say the main thing is if people are stalled, they're actually not eating enough.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be like the second thing if there's another thing that somebody's doing wrong?
They're really stressed out. Like their cortisol is high.
Okay.
Work can be stress. Kids can be stress. You could have a crappy neighbor. You just gotta get out in nature, stick your feet in the grass. You gotta unwind, meditate, do something relaxing, either something artsy, crochet, anything that's calming and relaxing. Soak in a tub. but you got to keep the cortisol down.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. For me, definitely walking was very relaxing, even in just listening to music and walking. And that was awesome. So that's my recommendation. Go for a walk. Since it's not considered like hardcore exercise.
No.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, keep the stress down, eat enough. It's the exact opposite. Not the stress thing, but like eat a lot of fat and eat a lot of meat is the exact opposite of literally what we're educated into.
Yeah, exactly. Because fat's bad for you. It's going to clog your arteries and give you a heart attack, and it's going to make you fat. Well, I find that very interesting because every time I eat more fat, the smaller I get. Hopefully not any more smaller though.
So wait, so how much so we're the same height. So how much are you? You're 130 pounds?
139.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a proper weight, a proper human weight.
Well, I put on muscle too, so
Okay.
I can't yeah, I can't discount that.
Sure. It makes
But I
sense.
know that if I lose any more fat, I'm probably going to be in trouble. Like bones are going to start poking out or
Oh, okay. But I think if you're eating correctly and the right proper human food, like I don't think you're going to get there. I don't think you're not going to look emaciated. I think that's the word.
yeah, and nobody can accuse me. Well, anybody who knows me in person can ever
Yeah.
accuse me of restrictive eating or being in a calorie deficit because that is definitely not happening over here.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah.
And I don't think people really understand this, but when you eat the SAD diet or you eat a lot of carbs, you're a sugar burner. So
Right.
those carbs are your fuel. And when you switch over to being a fat burner, fat is now your fuel. So if you have virtually no fuel on your body, you're going to have to eat it.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And I still have fuel, but I have too
Yeah,
much.
well, yeah. But you need to eat some too. And as long
Yeah.
as the body knows it's coming in and it feels all warm and safe, it's going to let go of that body fat.
Right. Oh, okay. So actually, before we end, I have one more question. So, what is your thought on fasting?
I can't do it anymore.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's great as long as it's not forced.
Okay. Okay, I
Now,
understand.
the one thing that I noticed when I was still in the process of losing my fat was that I would get really hungry around period time.
Okay. Yeah.
And while I normally ate OMAD, I was now eating 2 to 3 meals about 2 to 3 days before my
Okay.
period. So it was just impossible for me to fast during those times. If you're
Sure.
hungry, eat.
Okay.
Definitely eat. And then I went right back to OMAD, so it wasn't a big deal.
Okay.
Now it's hard for me to do OMAD. I have to eat twice a day and butter all day long. It's
Okay, that's good to know. Cool. Anything else you would like to say, dear Teresa, before we end?
yeah. If anybody is ever struggling, for $5, you can come into Dr. Barry's group and for a whole month get all of your questions answered, get the support that you need. We're also motivating. So I highly recommend it, especially if you're trying to go at this and you don't really know what you're doing and you're getting frustrated and you're thinking about quitting. Don't do that because honestly, what are you going to go back to?
Right.
I wouldn't. So yeah, $5, get all your questions answered, and then you can get out in 30 days if that's what you want to do. But most people stick around because it's pretty awesome in there.
That's awesome. Okay, good. And I will put the link in the description to be able to sign up for that. Okay, actually, I'm so sorry. I've never done this before. When I'm done, I'm usually done, but I have one more question. So recently, I have been craving sauerkraut like so badly. And sauerkraut is very interesting, right? However, I haven't made it because it takes like 7 to 14 days to make it, just like the beginning of sauerkraut. And you could screw it up and then it's all moldy and you have to start the process over again if you mess it up. But why would I don't understand. Like, it doesn't look, I'm all for people eating the way that makes them actually feel the best. So if like somebody wants to eat vegetables, I'm not like against that. And I know you're not either, because you teach people how to do keto or carnivore or whatever works for them. But why do you have any idea why I'd be craving sauerkraut?
The only thing I can think of is because it's fermented, maybe
Yeah.
something in your gut needs that.
Okay.
I don't think it's for the plant purposes.
Right. I always
Because it's fermented, it's probably good for you, which fermented food is usually okay.
Okay. Good. Thank you. That's all my questions, even though half of them were about me and half of them were about you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Great.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this far, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. If you would like to support my channel further, these are some items that are in my store. There is a link in the description, but it's also below the video if you are in US and Canada. Check out this artwork. It's beautiful. It's my mom's original artwork, and I decided to pop it on a bunch of cups and other things. We also have like pillows, all sorts of stuff. So check out the link. If you'd like any of this, feel free to get something. I would love to sell 100,000 of these items this year. I know I'm a big dreamer. But if you want to help with that and you like this artwork and you like these things, go ahead and get something, and that'll support me greatly. Thank you so much. Talk to y'all later. Bye.